Now, you can't please all of the people all of the time, but there are some tried and tested methods of improving your social acumen. I'm Antony Sammeroff, a relationship coach and a communication trainer, and here are 10 tried and tested ways for improving your social skills. My first tip is to smile at people, but not too fast. We all know that when we smile, we look happier and friendlier. But did you know that sometimes when you just smile at people automatically right away, as soon as you see them, it only really communicates that you don't mean any trouble and you don't want any trouble from them. It's not necessarily received as a sign of friendliness. If you want to make people feel like they matter, then smile in a way that lets them know that your smile is just for them. Take a moment, catch their eye, and smile just for them. The second tip is to accept people the way they are. No one likes that friend or relative who's always trying to change them and get them to be something they're not. If someone does something that ruffles your feathers, irritates you, or pushes your button, let them know how their behaviour affects you by telling them how it makes you feel and suggesting something that they can do instead without making any remarks about their character. My third tip is to listen without interrupting and ask questions out of curiosity. People love talking about themselves, so give them the opportunity by asking questions about their interests and their hobbies and what's going on in their life. Take an interest in things simply because they're of interest to them and not because you stand to gain anything from the conversation except for their friendship. If they've got a favourite book, you could take the time to read it. If they've got a favourite movie, take the time to watch it with them and then give them a chance to talk about what they liked about it. Now, the next tip is a really great tip for showing people that they're important to you, and that's to remember things they've said and bring them up in conversation in the future. If someone's going for their driving test or sitting an exam or they're going to see their friend's wedding, ask them about it afterwards. Take a mental note and make sure you bring it up. Ask them how their parents are doing if they mentioned that they're ill. Take a mental note of whatever they mention is going on in their life. You can also refer back to anecdotes they've mentioned in previous conversations to show that you've thought about them. That shows that you really take an interest in what they say to you. Show your appreciation for everything and anything anyone does for you. If you come home and the house is tidy, mention how nice it looks. Never let an act of kindness go unacknowledged. Sometimes my friends share these videos on their Facebook wall and I like to send them a message acknowledging the fact that they're putting my work out there. So often we're quick to criticise and point out all the flaws and the things that people do to upset us, but if you really want to improve the goodwill in the relationship, look for things that people do that contribute to your well-being and give them a mention. You don't have to put up a big board with stars and reward them for it. This isn't positive reinforcement. It's simply acknowledging that other people have the ability to make your life easier. The sixth tip is show appreciation for things that people have earned. We spend a lot of time and energy cultivating not only our material possessions, although they can be a sign of hard work, but also our skills, expertise, and positive characteristics. If you admire something about someone, don't be afraid to mention it. It means a lot to people when you acknowledge their hard work. Acknowledge what they've done for themselves and give them a chance to talk about how they did it. That will very likely give them a lot of pleasure and they'll share their expertise with you, which is a good opportunity for you to learn something valuable. The next tip kind of goes without saying. Give genuine compliments, but there's a lot more to giving compliments than you might think. The best kind of praise is not when you just say to people, "Oh, you're so intelligent," or "You look really beautiful," although sometimes there's a place for that. A lot of the time, when you use adjectives to give compliments, people's inner critics object to it offhand, so they get a little voice in their head which says, "Oh no, I'm not, oh no, I'm not." Or maybe they'll feel like they have to always live up to it. They'll have to always appear intelligent. Or when they grow older and their looks start to fade, because they got compliments on their looks for their whole life, they start to get really insecure. The best compliments tend to involve telling people something very specific that you like about them, which is tailored to them. Saying to someone, for example, I really liked the way you listened to Jessica last night when she was down. It was really inspiring to see you being so empathetic, might be a much better way than saying, you're a really caring person. Now they feel an obligation to live up to caring. Or how about, last night when I saw you in that play, I thought the way you did the to be or not to be monologue was fantastic. So many people do that over emotionally in the same way, but the way you took pauses was really original and different from how I've seen it performed before. You see, this is far superior to saying, what a great actor you are, because it gives them specific feedback that they can actually do something with and acknowledge the parts of the performance that they really liked. Try this yourself. It's really good to mention how something someone does makes you feel. You know, when you did all the washing up after last night's meal, it really made me feel special because I thought it meant you really appreciated the effort I put into the cooking. These are much better compliments than using adjectives to describe people. The next tip is a really important tip that not everyone knows, or if they do know, they don't always act on it. Don't try to fix people when they're feeling down. I know when someone that is close to you is sad, there's a real temptation to swoop in there like the knight in shining armor, but actually a lot of the time, the best way to help someone who's feeling down is to simply offer a good ear before giving any advice at all. Listen to what they say, and when they pause, repeat back the sense of what they said to them in your own words and put an emotion word on it. Something like, yeah, it sounds like you're really upset because you don't usually fight with Laurie. That will give them an opportunity to fully expand on what's upsetting them, and you'll find that they feel a lot better simply after talking about it and getting that empathy and being able to talk about it. There's a good chance that after they've expressed everything they have to say on the matter, they'll ask you for your opinion or your advice, or they'll give you an opportunity to talk about similar experiences in your life and what you did to handle them. Wait till you get a subtle acknowledgement from someone that they're ready to hear you when they're in a heightened state of emotion. Check out my video, Can Empathy Be a Learned Skill, for more information on how to do that effectively. The flip side of that, the ninth tip, is don't be afraid to ask other people for advice. There's very little that will make people feel like you value them more than turning to them for their expertise in a moment of need. But make sure you're willing to hear the advice before you ask for it. And remember, at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you take it or not. My last tip for improving your social skills is treat all people like they matter, because they do. Always be courteous to people and the people around them. There's an old adage that says, a friend who is polite to you but not to the waiter is not a polite friend. And you never know whether your date or your business associate was a waitress or a barman at one time. Seeing you being callous to service staff might leave a bad taste in their mouth. And there you have it, charisma in a box. I hope you really enjoyed these 10 tips for improving your social skills and showing the people in your life that you really care about them. If you can think of any more, pop them in a YouTube comment and we'll have a wee discussion about them. I'd love to hear from you. If you thought it was useful, don't be afraid to share it around. Send it in an email to any friends who are interested in these kinds of things. If you want some tailored advice on improving your social skills or improving the relationships with other people who are already in your life, you can book me for a consultation on Skype. I'm a real addict on these topics and I read and watch just about all the information available, and more importantly, I've got lots of experience applying it in my own life and helping my clients apply it in their own life, so I've seen firsthand how helpful these services can be. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. Check out my other videos and I'll see you next time.